2021 is now in the books and we're on to 2022, and honestly, I'm ready for it. I think it's going to be a pretty good year for card games and DBS in general, and I'm very excited to see everything that's going to happen. Hopefully good things. But just thinking about all the things that happened in 2021, like all the really good webcam events that we had, just so everybody can kind of stay at home and enjoy and play some games. Pretty successful in-person national event with a few hundred people, right? Our first world championship and our first world champion, shout out to Duvall. Really good prizing throughout the entire thing, and a newly minted gold awakened power, which I cannot wait to see the pictures for that. And of course, an announcement for Battle Hour 2022, which is just really good for the game, honestly. It really comes down to now, what is there for 2022? Obviously, we kind of know, what the sets are coming out and what the idea is, since we've had like the distributor like descriptions and all the stuff that's on the Dragon Ball website, but we don't really know everything. But what I do know is that you should subscribe, because now I'm going to try my best. The goal is really to try to do one video every day in the month of January. And while I've done this before and completely regretted it by doing so, I guess that's kind of how I got my audience. I'm trying to get back into it, not only to try new things, engage you guys, and as well as just get back into the groove. It's gonna go around like this every Sunday, starting tomorrow. If you aren't already a part of it, the circuit series, the local circuit series over webcam on my Discord is going to be happening every Sunday, and I will be streaming that event, or at least that local, in our Discord, and as well as on this channel, just so everyone can see it. Every Tuesday, hopefully, will be locals, my actual locals at Power 9 Games, so that way you can kind of see what I'm playing and what other people are playing as well. And then Saturday will be the Stage 0 team, so that way everyone can kind of come together and talk about the reveals, market watch, etc. You'll love it. For the first week of January, or at least like the pseudo week, I guess, up until the 8th, I have a bunch of deck profiles that I have to get out, because it's just, I was working on Nationals and as well as Worlds, and I was playing a bunch of random decks, and I just want to go ahead and share those to you guys, including SS3 Reboot, 4-color Surge Coup, red-green Surge Broly, and as well as the Set 15 Raditz. But then after that, every Monday is going to be a discussion kind of video. Every Wednesday, it's going to be a new player or budget video. Every Thursday is going to be a gameplay video or a deck profile, maybe both. And then every Friday is going to be some sort of kind of special video that's a little unrelated to everything else that I've done. If you like the sound of that, definitely subscribe, like, and comment below what you want to see in those type of categories as well. And it might not even be Dragon Ball. It could be others like Digimon and etc. Now, as far as 2022 and what I want to see in the game, that kind of varies. I do want to see more in-person events. I mean, the webcam events were great, but I think everyone sort of wants more in-person events. And for DBS, while I know everything is going on within the world, people want in-person events, and that's kind of what drives people to buy cards, to trade, to train for these events, and to go out and see some friends. We were successful for Nationals, and I'm pretty sure we can be successful for other future in-person events. But I do want webcam events to stay, and as well as to kind of alternate between in-person events, basically. While I'm on the topic of in-person events, I really want to see more celebration events. Pretty much all the celebrations, I think I went to 2, but the testimonies that I've heard from others for the celebration events, it was overall really good. Next up, I kind of want somebody from Bandai, or at least some sort of game representative, to be a part of the community, so that way we have a little bit more transparency. And I've asked for this a couple different times, and even working with Bandai, I've asked for it. But hopefully, if you're watching this, please just go and maybe have someone represent the company, or at least if there's some questions or something, some sort of feedback that we can actually give to someone, or at least to submit to, then that would be great. Obviously, if they're on Facebook or something, they really want like 1,000 different messages. So maybe some sort of messaging protocol there would be good. I think they're doing pretty good with Bandai Direct. I think that's something new, and I think that's something great that should be continued directly from the developers, and showing off new cards and just letting us know some really cool stuff is really awesome. And I think that should continue. So if that's their version of a representative, then all right. On that sort of note, I do think that we should have some sort of player group or some sort of, I don't know, like people who won major events or nationals or whatever it may be, to kind of come together and really review the upcoming cards, or at least get their feedback as far as for upcoming cards and as well as organized play. While I have said this before, that no person, even Andrew Duvall, should be designing any card, no player, I should say, not a developer, but no player should be designing any other card. It is good to hear from people who have broken the game and as well as continually done really well throughout the game. Plus, I'm sure they'll be really happy to be a part of it. I think we should have more reprints. Obviously, Mythic Boosters in Battle Evolution was great in my opinion. I think these should be annual or biannual. I think the anniversary boxes are cool, but by the time the anniversary boxes come out, I think they're not really relevant cards, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like the special anniversary boxes sort of don't really hit home too hard, or maybe they should just kind of combine those two. I could be wrong. I could have a different opinion than others. I think the special anniversary boxes like the Super Saiyan 4 Bardock and as well as AOD, both of those sort of come in and out of the game and they represent pretty well. But everything else like the Vault Packs and things like that might need a little bit of help in that department. And I think they kind of balance everything pretty well as far as the economy of the game and as well as just getting newer players to play better staples and better cards for their decks and getting into the game. And I'm very aware for those who own a lot of cards, or at least some of the more expensive ones, yes, it's going to go down in value because of the reprints, but you shouldn't get into a card game for the money, that is for sure. On that note, I do think theme boosters should make a comeback. Obviously, draft boxes are not the best in my opinion, but I think theme boosters are the way to go. Just even these Realm of God ones that has all of these really cool cards coming out, and just having the Great Priest to get all those guard cards together. I mean, I think that's really cool, and I think a theme booster that is very catered and has the same power level of other decks that we have in the current meta would be great. Other few things that I like is probably the judge program opening again and just having more official judges and recertifying the ones that we had. I love all the judges. I've been one myself many times and just had really good interactions, but I think just having official and level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. would be fantastic. The next two involve region locking prizing for nationals and other bigger events, and as well as having different formats like the one that we have at the side events for the NA nationals, and as well as like the UA block, Team Wars, etc. And those two kind of come from Marcus Cantarsi. Shout out to him. I saw that in the discussion group, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think we should have more region lock pricing and having specialized pricing for different areas like Latin America or Oceanus or the US, Canada. I mean, it depends on what you want to break it down from North America to the US, Canada, etc. But that's the type of thing that I mean. And then different formats would be great. I think people don't really want rotation. The alternative will probably be different formats. I think the game is getting big enough, like we're on the 16th set, and probably by set 20, I think we're probably gonna have a pretty good set card pool where we can have different blocks and different formats for everyone to play. So we obviously having like the statin format that we have right now, and then we also have like a rotation format or like a unlisted ban list sort of thing, etc. On that note, I would love to have official player rankings. And that's kind of like the last thing that I really want, is where we can kind of really see who is doing well within events. And I don't think it's gonna be very hard. We can probably do like a point system or like a ranking system or whatever, depending on an in-person regional. So obviously there's some regionals and some events that do better than others, like some have 300 or 200 and others have like 50, just because of the circumstances that we have right now, and as well as advertising, marketing, etc. And that is the last one, by the way, spoiler alert. But it really varies. But having a system like that, if someone can come up with that, also drive all the competitive players to really go into events and just do well. If you need an example of that, if you like Smash or anything like that, the PGR rankings are always a good example of what I want to see. And of course, the last thing that I mentioned was official marketing, official promotion, etc. Battle Hour is great. Rhyme Style, Nanogenics, I love those guys. Just getting free boxes and just showing off the art and just being on that collector side. And that's usually how it goes. Like, if you like the cards or if you like how it looks, that's generally a good enough thing for a casual player to start entering the game. The next thing is to continue that throughout the year, and as well as having a good player basis for new players to come in. And that's our job as community, to really just welcome those new players and to make sure that they stay. Because a lot of the time people really think DBS is kind of complicated, but I really don't think that. I mean, when you learn the basics, sort of like a easy to learn, hard to master sort of game. So hopefully that philosophy will be here, and hopefully that will be the case for 2022, which is 2022. Hopefully it's not going to be as bad. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.